Has so many of us talking today. The Washington Post cutting its staff by a third.
Yeah, the Post gutted the Metro and sports sections, several foreign bureaus, and its book coverage.
Rafael Sanchez Cruz is following this for us. Rafa, this is a massive blow to our community. We know a lot of these people. They've done incredible work on behalf of our community. This is big.
It's huge. And, we can't say it enough. Today, I spoke to Michael Bryce Sadler. This is a journalist I've worked alongside with and have leaned on him covering D.C. crime and politics. He's among the journalists cut today as the district is the scene for major stories, federal intervention, and a pivotal election cycle.
After weeks of rumors, the Washington Post fired 1/3 of their staff Wednesday.
I got an email this morning, and the subject line was either you're staying or you're going.
That's how Michael Bryce Sadler found out he was no longer part of the Post Metro team.
I actually started in 2018 as an intern right out of the University of Maryland. I interned covering crime in D.C.
He was part of the team that won the 2022 Pulitzer Prize for Public Service for coverage of the January 6th insurrection. Most recently, he covered D.C.'s communities, people, and politics.
D.C. news is national news.
Bryce Sadler says the widespread purge of journalists delivering a blow to local reporting.
President Trump's influence down to the mayor's office. We have a wide open mayor's race coming up, a huge election. That's going to have massive implications for the direction of the city.
And a major hit to in-depth reporting.
However, there are local reporters who are going to stay, and they are going to, I know, be dedicated to their work for as long as they're there and as long as they can do their job.
The Post executive editor, Matt Murray, calling the move painful but necessary to put the outlet on a stronger footing given changes in technology and user habits.
Yeah, I understand why people would have had conflicting feelings over their subscription or readership over the past few years. A lot of the staff has had similar frustrations.
Washington Post owner Jeff Bezos has remained silent about the cuts.
A feature that
Bryce Sadler is not, sharing that among his favorite pieces is the story of Samuel Simon from McLean, Virginia, who is sharing his experience with dementia through a one-man play.
To be able to report about the most vulnerable members of our community, those with lower resources or seniors or those who are vulnerable. That's why I got into this. That was my favorite thing to do with the Post. And yeah, it's just a shame that we're taking away resources in a community that could use a lot more of them.
Yeah, the Post hasn't provided a number of how many people have been laid off. The local team says they're still trying to figure out how many of them are left as they support each other. The Post also hasn't reported about the cuts. They did, however, post an article written not by one of their own, but by someone from the Associated Press. Now, something that Michael and I were talking about is this huge hit to the local press corps, because when we're in those rooms asking those questions, we really lean on each other to further the story and get the answers our viewers and our readers are relying on.
Yeah, we know these Post reporters spend so much time doing critical work, informing our community, and we also know several organizations are also stepping up to try and get them the help they need during this time.
They sure are. We need these voices more now than ever, for sure.